He laughed at the human's medal count, until she dropped 3 more onto the table commander. Zixtel's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among the Cathari as he examined the worn metal case before him. The human sitting across the negotiation table, some unremarkable female named Captain Sarah Chen, had just presented her credentials for the upcoming joint military operation against the Void Swarm. 3 medals, Zixtel chittered, his translator converting his amusement into something the primitive human could understand. How quaint. The Cathari Dominion requires a minimum of 12 battle honors before one can even consider leading a reconnaissance mission. The other alien delegates around the circular table, a hulking Gorvani general, 2 crystalline Nixari strategists, and a floating Etherian war mind, remained silent, but their body language suggested agreement. Humans were the newest species to join the Galactic Defense Coalition, barely 2 centuries since first contact. What could they possibly contribute to a war that had raged for millennia? Captain Chen's expression didn't change. She was unremarkable by human standards, average height, brown hair pulled back in a regulation bun, and tired eyes that suggested too many sleepless nights. Her uniform was crisp but showed signs of extended wear, and the 3 medals on her chest seemed almost pathetic compared to the elaborate ceremonial decorations adorning the other commanders. "I understand your concern, Commander," Chen said quietly. "The medal count does seem insufficient." Zixtel's compound eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Finally, the human acknowledged her species' inadequacy. "Indeed, perhaps your people would be better suited to supply runs or medical support. Leave the real fighting to those with actual experience." The Gorvani general, Thrakmor, rumbled his agreement. His massive frame was covered in battle scars, each one a badge of honor among his people. "The little pink skin should return to her nest world. This is no place for cubs." Chen nodded slowly, then reached into her jacket pocket. "You're probably right. 3 medals really isn't very impressive." She pulled out a small cloth pouch and carefully untied it. The sound of metal clinking against metal filled the sudden silence. "But these 3 weren't the only ones I earned." One by one, she began placing medals onto the table, not the decorative jewel-encrusted awards favored by most species, but simple, understated pieces of metal and ribbon. Each one clinked softly as it touched the polished surface. The first was a star-shaped medal with a blue ribbon. "Terran Defense Cross," she said matter-of-factly, "for holding the line at Kepler 442b when the Void Swarm overran our first colony. 48 hours of continuous combat. Lost my entire company, but the civilians got out." Another medal joined it, a bronze cross with a red ribbon. "Galactic Service Medal with Valor Device, Proxima Centauri Campaign. Led a rescue mission into swarm-occupied territory to extract captured coalition personnel. Success rate, 100%. Zixtel's mandibles stopped clicking. His attention was now fully focused on the growing collection of medals. A silver star appeared next. Distinguished Service Cross, Vega System Defense, Coordinated Multi-Species Fleet Action against Swarm Hive Ship. Duration, 6 months. Result, total enemy elimination. The medals kept coming. Bronze Star, Purple Heart, multiple campaign ribbons, service crosses from a dozen different operations, each one representing battles the Coalition had thought lost causes, desperate last stands, impossible missions that somehow became victories. Combat Action Badge, Meritorious Service Medal, Legion of Merit. Chen's voice remained steady, clinical, as if she were reading a supply manifest. Navy Cross, Silver Star with Oak Leaf Cluster, that means I earned it twice. Army Commendation, Medal with Valor Device. The other delegates leaned forward despite themselves. The Nixari began rapid calculations, their crystalline forms pulsing with soft light. The Etherian psionic field wavered with something that might have been respect. "These are just from the official actions," Chen continued, placing what looked like her final medal on the table. "The ones the Coalition knows about. There are others we don't talk about. Black operations, classified missions, the kind where if you succeed, no one ever knows you were there." If you fail, no one ever admits you existed. She reached into another pocket and withdrew a single, plain silver disc on a black ribbon. Unlike the others, this one bore no inscription, no identifying marks. It was utterly unremarkable except for the weight of silence it seemed to carry. "This one isn't in any official database," she said quietly. 37 successful deep infiltration missions behind swarm lines, solo operations, no backup, no extraction guarantees, average mission duration, 4 months in hostile territory. Commander Zixtel found his translator struggling to process the involuntary clicks and hisses emerging from his speaking apparatus. The human had presented nearly 40 medals, more battle honors than most Cathari accumulated in entire careers. "But here's the thing about humans," Chen said, beginning to gather the medals back into her pouch. "We don't fight for glory. We don't collect trophies. We fight because someone has to, and we're too stubborn to quit when things get impossible." She stood, straightening her uniform jacket. "You asked about experience, Commander. I've been fighting the Void Swarm since I was 19. That was 28 years ago. I've seen good soldiers die because aliens thought humans weren't worth listening to. I've watched colonies burn because coalition forces were too proud to accept human tactical suggestions." The room remained silent as she sealed the pouch and tucked it away. "Now, you can keep questioning our qualifications while the swarm continues to advance, or you can let us do what we do best." She looked directly at Zixtel, her tired eyes holding depths the alien commander was only beginning to understand. "Your choice, but decide quickly. The enemy doesn't care about medal counts and neither do the dead." For the first time in his military career, Commander Zixtel found himself at a loss for words. Around the table, the other delegates sat in stunned silence, recalculating everything they thought they knew about humanity. Captain Chen was already moving toward the door when Thrackmore's rumbling voice stopped her. "Captain," the Gorvani said slowly, "when do we begin planning the operation?" She turned back, and for just a moment something that might have been a smile flickered across her face. "We already have,"